What's up, people? Man, what a mad world we live in. These cops are going fucking insane. Let me start out by saying, forgive me, I have a little cold. Some of you may have seen another video that I dropped where I said that I had a cold. I still have it. You may be able to tell. But anyway, back on topic. Uh, Wow. I mean, where do you begin? I mean, this is total insanity, you know? I'm looking at this video and I'm looking at the things that's happening and I'm thinking, this video must have been edited, right? Because I'm missing something. I'm missing a couple of things. First of all, the jackass in the helicopter says, "This is a bad man." Really? I'm like, wow, what happened? What did he do? Did he do like some Wolverine shit or something? Did he like lift the car up? What the hell? What happened? Well, come to find out later on that obviously he did nothing, and this guy just thought he was a bad madman because he was big and black. Then I see the lady, she shoots him. Now at the time I didn't know exactly who shot him, but I knew somebody shot him, and there again I'm wondering, wow, did they cut that part out of the tape or something? I mean, what happened? I seen the dude, he had his hands up, he didn't really seem to be aggressive at all. He was kind of, looked like he was kind of scared as hell, right? Like he threw his hands up like, hey, I don't want any trouble. So I'm wondering, like, what made him go from that mentality to doing something that warranted being shot? Well, according to witnesses and according to the video, he did nothing. There was no edit on the video. He did nothing. The man was murdered. And once again, another fucking cop saying, "Oh, I thought he had something." Funny how you guys always end up shooting black people because you think they have something. But when white people actually have something, even when they've killed cops, you manage to take them in and get them to the jail just in time to eat those nice, delicious bologna sandwiches that you guys serve, I heard. And they used to serve those in jail when I worked in the sheriff's department. So I think they still do. But anyway, you guys, you seem to be able to real good at taking white guys in. And oh yeah, terrorist. You take terrorists in too. So obviously your skill for taking people in, it exists. You just use that shit when you want to, huh? This is just getting really crazy. And it boggles the mind so much, it's really kind of hard to even comment on it at this point. I mean, because you're just sitting back wondering, how are these cops able to murder these people like this on film and get away with it just because they say they're scared? So when I view this through the lens of the FBI report that came out about 2 or 3 years ago, where the FBI put out a warning. It was not just a report. It was a warning to the public that law enforcement has been infiltrated by white supremacist groups. So every time I see this, I think to myself, you know what? This has to be tied to that, because some of this shit is so strange. It's the only thing that can explain it. Now, keep in mind, this is the FBI. They put out a report warning the public. So this was no casual report. This was obviously something that was so serious, they felt like they needed to warn the public about it. So these white supremacist groups are infiltrating these police departments to a degree where the FBI put out a report on it. And when I hear officers saying that their superiors are actually telling them, to go out and perform their jobs in ways that I know I was never told to do that. They're telling them to be aggressive. They're basically telling them, look, anything, if you think the slightest danger, don't worry about confirming it. Just shoot. Just shoot. They're actually promoting a culture of bigotry and racism. There's a story. I'm going to see if I can find it. If I can, I'll put it down in the description section, a link, where one officer recorded his supervisor. This story, a lot of you guys should remember it. It was in the media probably about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago. He recorded his supervisor actually asking him, hey, why aren't you stopping and searching more black people? I see you stopping and searching people, but they're not black people. They're not black males. What's up with that? And the officer basically told him, hey, look, I search people when I have a probable cause. And if I'm not getting any black people and searching them, then it's because I don't have probable cause to do that. But if I do, I will search a black guy. And the supervisor told him, now this is on audio. I need you to search more black guys. I need you to search more black. He particularly, I think if I remember correctly, he said males. I need you to search more black males. So obviously these white supremacist groups are getting in these police departments, and they're not only, of course, themselves, they're going to perform their jobs in a racially biased way, but they're creating a culture. They're helping to manifest this culture where officers who probably went in as officers who probably wanted to help the community, and they've brainwashed them into looking at the community and people in the community and people who look a certain way as enemy combatants. Which is funny because I was speaking to a friend of mine who was in the military, and he fought in Iraq. He fought in, I think it was the Battle of Fallujah. And he was telling me, that, people do get shot by stray bullets or whatever, innocent civilians. He said, but I've never seen it. He said, I personally have never seen it. And he was telling me something about one place he got to, a couple of people got shot, but by the time he got there, they were taken to the hospital. But he said he's never seen it. I'm thinking to myself now, God damn, if you could be at war where I know you got to be, you got to be like, ready to shoot anything that moves. And soldiers in a war zone can avoid killing civilians, and these scary motherfuckers, these inbred trailer park trash bastards cannot avoid shooting people. They're shooting people with books in their hands. They're shooting people on college campuses. They're shooting people who are waiting for their children. They're shooting people who are broke down in the expressway who just want help. If you're black, man, it's like, goddamn, and like my man said, he's a bad man. Bad man? What the hell did he do? So, I'm sitting up here thinking, I'm going to bring up Hillary Clinton. Let's say she wins, because a lot of this shit that's going on, a lot of stuff that's happening to black people is happening because of policies that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton fought to have passed. Now, don't get mad with me. I didn't make the world. I just live in it. And, they did it. Now, one of those things is 3 strikes. 3 strikes is really fucking people up. You got people who, if the crimes they've committed in the past are lined up right and they're the right kind of crimes. For example, a young lady that I was reading a story about, excuse me for looking away too long. Sometimes I forget. It's like I think I'm talking to a person. But she ended up, her last charge, she went to prison for like 15 years, I think it was, for stealing a coat. And everything that she had done before that was nonviolent. It was nonviolent. Everything she did was nonviolent. She's just one example. So one thing that Hillary Clinton needs to do if she gets in office, and I have a funny feeling she will, regardless of what really happens, I think she'll be the one. The first thing she needs to do is, and of course we're gonna have to put pressure on her about this. But if she really felt bad at all whatsoever about these policies and taking money from private prisons, the first thing she would do is she would focus on people like that young lady. There are thousands of them all over the nation. And she needs to go to Congress and try to do what she can the right way to have these people released the right way. In fact, have their records expunged, okay? Have their records expunged. And also, she needs to work on arranging it so that when they get out, they got all their voters' rights back. They got all their voters' rights back. See, that's the key right there. When they get you like that and they get all these charges on you, they get these federal charges on you and they steal your voters' rights, It's like you just existing. The only thing you can do at that point is pay taxes, which is gravy to them, you know? Okay, yeah, you just pay taxes. So these people not only need to be released, they need to have all of their rights returned to them, because that 3 strikes law was an atrocity, you know? So she needs to do that. And here's how she needs to, angle it. Now, she'll be the president. And I've been researching it, and that I can tell there's no limit on how many people a president can pardon. I think they said Roosevelt, the most that has ever been pardoned was Roosevelt. He did something like 3,600 or something like that. So what she needs to do is basically present it like this. Look, you guys either work something out in Congress and get a law passed and get this thing done right, so I don't have to jack you up in the corner and, just do something, just strong arm you. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to pardon as many of these people as I can. And if you don't do it, if you leave it up to me, not only that, if they fit the nonviolent criteria, I'm also going to pardon drug dealers. Now, we're just going to talk about people like this young lady I just mentioned, people who just stole a coat or something like that. That's what I'm asking you to work on. But I'm telling you now, if you want to let me do it, I'm going to release some drug dealers too. And I'm going to get with all the Democratic governors around the country, and I'm going to tell them to work with me on releasing these people as well. I'm going to tell them to release as many people as they can. Something needs to be done, because I'm quite sure these white supremacists that have infiltrated law enforcement, according to the FBI, not me, I'm quite sure that they're planting drugs in people's cars and things of that nature. That goes on a lot more than people think. Let's not forget an older gentleman who got beat up by a cop who's in prison right now. One of the things that cop tried to do, he tried to put drugs in that man's car. That man has a good life, had a good job for a very long time, getting ready to retire, had a family, kids, and this man was about to fuck his life up by putting drugs in his car. Can you imagine how horrific that is, to have your life just uprooted and destroyed like that? I mean, it's probably not as horrible, but it probably feels kind of like when the slaves were scooped up in Africa and put on a ship and suddenly just, just swifted away, to parts unknown. Never to see anybody they love again. Their family members will never see them again. Just their lives are just totally destroyed. That has to be what that feels like. It has to feel similar to that. God damn, I'm just living my life. There are people in prison right now where the officers got away with it. They successfully planted drugs on them and arrested them and locked them up. Something's got to be done, people. Something has got to be done. President Obama, you need to get your head out of your ass, sir. I'm sorry, and stop focusing on that TPP that nobody wants. You need to start working on this. Now, what a lot of people don't understand about a lot of these police departments that surround metropolitan cities, these little Rudy Poo police departments where these inbreds mostly work, they only survive because of federal funding. And the only way to get federal funding, they have to show a certain number of speeding tickets, arrests, and things of that nature. If they don't have that, they don't qualify for the federal funding. Well, all that's doing is encouraging them to go out and arrest people in these towns they live in. You think they're going to do that to white people? Of course not. What are they going to do? They're going to go to that part of town where the black people live, and they're going to victimize them. Okay, people, I'm going to wrap it up here. And as usual, I am going to leave some sources in the description section, leave some nice links down there for you guys to read. I'm going to try to find that link with the officer who recorded his supervisor telling him to search more black males. And of course, I'm going to always leave the speech by James Comey, FBI Director James Comey, acknowledging that racism is a problem in law enforcement. And I'm also going to try to find, I've got it somewhere in my phone, that report by the FBI concerning white supremacists infiltrating law enforcement agencies. If you guys like this video, don't hesitate to hit like, and please do not hesitate to hit the subscribe button. All right? Later.